Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Various strategies are being examined to help reduce SVG's vulnerability as well as to improve its adaptation and mitigation to the effects of climate change. These strategies are being explored at a workshop sponsored by the Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership and has brought together a wide cross-section of stakeholders to implement the climate change communication campaign. SVG-TV's Bavin Oliver tells us more in this report.
Climate change continues to have a disastrous effect on small island states such as St. Vincent and Grenadines, and as such, a group of talented individuals from across government ministries and NGOs have come together to develop key messages for the National Communications Campaign on climate change. Creative Director of the Jamaica-based Change Communications, Abigail Gardiner, highlighted the aims of the Climate Change Communications Campaign, which is expected to run up to 2018.
We have the NGO community, the artist community. We have a number of people who are here from the Ministry of Economic Planning and Sustainable Development, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and essentially the aim and objective is to transmit skills that really speak to people's ability to communicate climate change and to gather information that will help us in the design of the campaign. So we're working around messaging. So all these folks that you see are doing messaging, brainstorming and development with a view to coming up with clear, concise and effective messages for the different target groups like youth, policymakers, fishers, farmers, and the media. Yeah, we can't forget the media. That's so essential to transmission of information.
Gardner also took the opportunity to highlight some of the activities geared towards one of the program's target group, the youth.
We're going to be running a competition that enables them to represent their ideas around climate change in film and photography. So they have the opportunity to make a 3-minute video using their cell phone, or if they have access to, a video camera, that's fine. Telling a story, it can be fiction or non-fiction, and in the photography category, they can submit up to 3 photographs that also tell a story around climate change.
According to Gardner, whilst the campaign cannot stop the effects of climate change, it is a necessary one in order to bring about meaningful change in the future.
So it is an opportunity for us to come together and to try to find solutions to some of our problems. Climate change is a phenomenon that is very, very it's widespread. It will affect the entire planet, and we are some of the most affected. What we do is not going to effectively stop climate change, but we have to do something. We have to try and find ways of adapting, of mitigating, impact. And I believe that one of the things that we really have seen here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that gives us hope is that people are engaged around the issue. They care.
The Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership sponsored workshop was held at the Fisheries Conference Room. Bavin Oliver, SVG-TV News.
Meanwhile, our news team caught up with 2 of the participants at today's workshop who consider the program a timely one which can have a positive impact on SVG.
Well, I can say that I do feel inspired because, as climate change is an issue that is going to affect everyone, and everyone has to do, even if it's just their small part in attempting to mitigate it. So this workshop is something that I think is necessary and timely, and it's good. For me, to be perfectly blunt, we need these messages to have as much impact as they can, because we've seen what happened to Dominica, we've seen what happened to Barbuda. It was only by the grace of God that was not us. So we need to be fully aware of what can happen, what will happen, and make as much effort as we can to mitigate that happening here.
It gives us as Vincentians an opportunity to learn the devastating impacts of climate change and also mechanisms to mitigate this catastrophic event. It has not only impacted St. Vincent but also our sister islands, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, and with the knowledge that we're gaining today, we as stakeholders, we will be able to develop strategies within the creative industries as well as other stakeholders to educate our Vincentians, citizens, and better mitigate climate change.
The month of November is observed here in SVG as Tourism Month, and the Ministry of Tourism is engaged in a series of activities aimed at sensitizing the Vincentian public on the nation's tourism product and what can be done to enhance or develop the product. On Tuesday, November 21st, members of the local media and other tourism stakeholders were a part of a special interest tour visiting a number of local producers to learn how the products they produce can make a difference in the tourism industry. SVG-TV's Nikita Tony was part of that tour. She files this report.
As part of activities to mark Tourism Month 2017, the Ministry of Tourism has engaged members of various media houses and tourism stakeholders to be a part of a media tour to showcase what SVG has to offer as it regards to agro and food tourism. Cognizant of the fact that the media plays a very important role in showcasing the tourism industry, Communications Officer of the Ministry of Tourism, J. Belmar, said the tour gave persons the opportunity to experience and report on products found here in SVG, made strictly from local produce.
I just want to thank all our stakeholders who came on board and saw the importance of teaching and showing the media the possibilities that there are in the tourism industry. It's good to see local producers using local products because people come to the destination not to taste items that they can find in their own country. They can find strawberry, they can find chocolate, but you want to come and taste and experience authentic experiences in a destination. So many things you can do in St. Vincent. 32 islands. Last year was adventure. This year it's agro-food tourism because people want to experience new things when they come to St. Vincent, and I think locals would also enjoy doing a tour like this.
This year's tour began at the family-owned Frisco Ice Cream Company in capital Kingstown, where the participants sampled ice cream made from the well-known staple dasheen, which according to manager Carlos de Nabrigo is becoming a crowd favorite.
Dasheen ice cream, really, we had the idea in mind for quite a while. Not sure about visitors, but a lot of local people have been requesting it recently. We didn't think we would be doing it as a full-time flavor, but it certainly seems so. We'll soon start maybe breadfruit. We do also do a lot of other local stuff like soursop, nutmeg, mango, basically any fruit that we could get our hands on. We do it. Coconut is another big one, guava.
Our next stop was at the Erica's Country Style Factory in Prospect, where owner Erica McIntosh gave a background of her business and products, which she noted have all received excellent reviews from locals and visitors alike.
The tourist packages which we do as well. So tourism, is a part of it. Also, when people come to St. Vincent, instead of promoting the foreign stuff that is imported into St. Vincent, I always encourage people to try and promote what is manufactured locally. Whether it's the juices, the fudges, the jams, the jellies, the pepper sauces, promote local. We have quite a wide range of products, and our main markets are right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course. And all our raw material is locally based. Everything is from local farmers.
The tour took us up to Mount Bentic, Georgetown at the St. Vincent Distillers Limited, home of the world-famous Sunset Strong, Captain Bligh XO, and Mutineers Gold Rums, to tour the facility under the guidance of Export Promotions Manager Philippa Graves.
Its recent award, of course, is the Captain Bligh, which won the World's Best Rum in 2014 at the World Rum Awards in London. It again won Gold Award in 2015. In 2016, our Sunset Strong Rum got World's Best Rum at the World Rum Award in London. And this year, our Mutineers Gold, that also won World's Best Rum. So for a small distillery and a small island, our rums are something to be all Vincentians to be proud of.
specializing in the propagation of vegetable seedlings, agri-processing, and tissue culture operations. Our final stop was at the Orange Hill Agriculture Biotechnology Center, where the officer in charge, Rohan McDonald, gave the visitors an insight into the current Colour Lily program being done under the horticulture project.
Colour Lily program would be, in my opinion, a very interesting program, because every morning you can have a cut flower. Even if you put one stalk in a vase, still very elegant. I think those people who grow dasheen will be able to grow Colour Lily. It would be very good for the cut flower industry, the hotels and so on.
We also got an overview of the production of a range of composite flowers being done at the center. The products produced at the 4 entities visited are all considered important in enhancing SVG's tourism product. The Ministry of Tourism takes this opportunity to remind all Vincentians that tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it, embrace it. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Nikita Tony.
General Secretary of the ruling Unity Labour Party, Senator Julian Francis, is of the view that the party's strategy will catapult it to win the 2020 general elections for a 5th term. Francis, who was on Star FM last night, said the ULP constantly renews itself and its candidates as a means of ensuring good succession planning.
We have made it clear, the Unity Labour Party, not only Ralph Gonsalves as political leader, the Unity Labour Party considers that, and this is all part of our strategy, renewal is always important. We have changed more candidates over the last elections to 5, 10 and 15 than any other political party in the history. Well, the only other one that have lasted that long was NDP. But the idea of people out there, after a while, they like to see changes with a different program, with an increased program, with an improved program. And we have been successful at that.
Senator Francis said that their calculated approach to politics ensures that the party remains attractive to youthful voters, and that unlike the opposition, the Democratic Party, their quarrels are not public.
That was a strategic move by the Unity Labour Party. And you see, that is what is beating and having the NDP beating their heads against the wall. How is it that we can successfully do this sort of thing from time to time? All the time, not just from time to time. Because we are a scientific party. We do not go on a echo chamber sort of discussion. That's what happens in the NDP. One person say one thing and everybody else agree. We sit down, we analyze, we strategize. And you would recall since 2010, Ralph Gonsalves says, listen, it's about time that we start refreshing at the top of the leadership of the party. So that we have to start getting the younger persons, and this is what keeps the youth with us. You know, when we do our business, we don't go out there in public and bite out one another's throat. You know, you remember when Adam said that he wasn't running and they're going to have election for leadership of the party. Liquor can Friday by biting out in public each other's throat. We don't do that. We operate as a family.
The ULP General Secretary admitted that, like any other organization, there would be internal disagreements in the party, but they would always have a unified front.
When we discuss these matters, we discuss them in the family room. You may hear one or two criticism of each other, but not directly from persons who, I'd say, at candidate or leadership level. You will get some infighting here and there. You will get a little word being thrown. And that's all part of the cut and thrust of the politics. But we have decided as a political party that there comes a time when we have to start phasing. And this is the time. Camilo and Soboto, the two most likely young men who could emerge now as political leader of the Unity Labour Party on the phasing out of Ralph Gonsalves. As political leader, Ralph Gonsalves will continue to contest his seat in North Central Windward. As long as health and everything continues, I believe that the people of North Central Windward want Ralph Gonsalves to continue to be their representative. It doesn't mean that because he's a parliamentarian in Parliament that he has to be political leader. We want a younger blood.
Teachers here are being cautioned that their attitude towards students who are struggling could affect learning. The advice came from Dr. Verna Knights of the School of Education Cave Hill campus in an interview with SVG-TV News. Knights was one of the facilitators at a two-day workshop for educators funded by UNICEF. The seminar was part of a study on out-of-school children throughout the 7 member states of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS. According to Dr. Knights, data show that besides parents' lack of focus on their children's learning, a teacher's attitude can significantly impact the ability of a student to grasp information.
Another factor was low parental engagement and involvement in education of the students. Not just being there as parents, but actually helping them when they're struggling in school, or even knowing that they're struggling and trying to find them the assistance that they need. We also saw another factor being the incident of teaching quality and teachers' attitudes towards weak students. So we've had this notion of if we simply at the secondary level especially, this was most pronounced. There's the expectation that a child who comes from primary school would already be coming with the needed skills or the required skills. But what we are seeing is that that is not the case anymore, and there's somewhat of a negative reaction from teachers who understandably may not have the skills to diagnose what the problems are and even address them themselves. And so what we are seeing that they're blaming the children and they're saying, well, they should go somewhere else. They don't belong here, that kind of thing. And so there's somewhat a tension growing between the teachers and the students, which somehow inhibits the learning process.
Children are very sensitive.
And children don't learn from persons who they don't think don't like them or who they don't believe that they belong there. And so there's that dynamic we also have to examine closely to figure out how to deal with it.
Dr. Knights reinforced the importance of engaging all students and not just the quick learners.
And training has to be one approach, but also trying to make teachers understand and to develop a deep understanding of the notion that we don't teach only children who are doing well or who are grasping the concept quickly, but every child in the classroom needs to learn, and every child in the classroom is a student who has to be taught, and so we need to engage to ensure that there's success for all in our teaching plans and everything that we do in the education system. And so there's this new thinking now that is evolving. Not a new thinking, it has always been there in reality, but just reminding teachers that we are teaching every single child and not just the child who catches the concept very quickly.
Member of Parliament for East St. George, Camila Gonsalves, described the ruling Unity Labour Party's focus on education as transformative and revolutionary. Minister Gonsalves, who now holds the portfolio as Minister of Finance, said the one graduate per household initiative conceptualized by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves will have tremendous benefit for the country.
To hear Ralph Gonsalves talking about one university graduate per household, he would have been making that comment at a time when you didn't have 40% of the people even in primary school, much less university graduates. He would have been making that point at a time when St. Vincent and the Grenadines was last among territories in terms of their University of the West Indies enrollment. And at that time, he had the vision to say, even though 60% of young people aren't making it into primary school, and even though we are performing far below the regional average in terms of the number of people we send to university, we can achieve a goal of one university graduate per household. That's an incredibly transformative and revolutionary vision that this government has been committed to with a single-minded focus.
Gonzalez, who was speaking on radio recently, emphasized the need for educated persons to utilize their skills to improve the lives of others.
We have been producing talented, experienced, educated, skilled Vincentian young people who all have now tools that they can use to contribute to national development in one way or another. Now, it is true to say that the original focus of the education revolution was access, because enough people didn't have access. You just had to get people into the schools.
Yes.
And now that access is a right. People expect the access to be guaranteed. We have to work now on pedagogy and curriculum and make sure that we are producing students who are best equipped to contribute to our national development and our national circumstances. That yes, we will be exporting nurses, and yes, we will have people being productive locally, regionally, and internationally in the traditional disciplines and fields. But we also have to think about educating Vincentians to do the tasks that are most needed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at this stage of our development.
Additionally, Minister of Labour Sabota Caesar underscored the importance of harnessing a human resource database of well-trained minds.
So many graduates coming back from university and are here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, ready and willing to build our nation. And Camilo, just as you exposed quite eloquently how we can work in harnessing the resources from the diaspora, we also have to find and build on the programs that we have outlined already. And the programs which are doing well, we have to continue to do work with them as to how we can harness the human resource capacity of many of the graduates who are coming back from university and persons who are even here and doing courses online.
Minister Caesar said trained and qualified persons could help to enhance their communities through various projects.
There is, on average, one medical student per village in South Central Windward. And what we are saying moving forward, now that we have so many persons coming back, so qualified, we have to find different ways and means outside of their day-to-day work, because it's one thing to go to work as a doctor, but to find ways and means that we could have greater community participation. We can study our civilization more, because we are a unique people, and there are things that our academicians can focus on, study the situation, the local situation deeper, in order for us to enhance our drive as we move our country forward.
By the end of November, officials from the Ministry of Education and the Embassy of the Republic of China on Taiwan would have presented some 800 students with bursary awards under the Taiwanese Human Resources Development Scholarship Program, with the most recent being 33 students on the Grenadine island of Bequia. Aimed at providing educational support to the students, the bursaries were handed out at a ceremony in Port Elizabeth on Tuesday, attended by former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell. Taking the opportunity to commend to the government and people of Taiwan for their continued support to SVG, Sir James highlighted some of the contributions made by the ROC in the Grenadines.
Here in Bequia, they financed the road from Thomas Hill all the way to Industry, one of the best standing roads still in Bequia. They finance also part of the Mount Pleasant Road up in the upper ends of the road. They finance also the road between the Valley of Friendship going right up into the hills all the way to St. Hilary. And of course, they did the Union Island Airport.
With some 20,000 some $20,450 EC dollars being presented in scholarships, so James urged the students to be grateful and wish them all the best.
Children must never forget where they come from. They're taking this aid because their parents can't deliver. And therefore, I am grateful for all kinds of help given to those at the bottom of the ladder. So I wish the students the very best. I hope they will all remember how they got this and that they will excel as they go along. And I am most grateful for any help given to anybody in this country.